One of the things we're even hearing the president say is that you would outlaw cows.
Oh, yeah.
Cows farting, that would be out. Children, hamburgers, ice cream. Any of that true at all?
It's always good to see how these narratives are manipulated, because they're trying to say that the Green New Deal is about what we have to give up, what we have to cut back on, when in fact the Green New Deal itself is a resolution to be more expansive.
All right, that was New York Democratic Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez on the cover of Time this week, by the way, having trouble defending the Green New Deal after the president slammed the proposal. Others have as well. But by the same token, she's a phenomenon. A lot of her critics are not. Not talking about the president, of course, but let's ask our Gen X panel whether they're hexed by this. We've got Audio Tech and my buddy Dion Bayo. We've got Fox News headlines 24/7, Carly Shimkus, who, by the way, has been up 24/7. We also have social media expert Kris Ruby, and last but not least, radio host Mike Gunzelman. Guns, you first on this. She is saying, look, they're characterizing this all the wrong way because they're just not smitten with the idea of doing something for the environment.
No, I honestly watched this interview more than once, and I have no idea what she's saying. Like, she wasn't able to explain it whatsoever. And the thing is, she doesn't even know. The thing, what's happening is, especially with like Democratic presidential candidates as well, they have to keep going to the far left, that appeasing them so much that they don't even know their rhetoric or what they're even trying to say in the end. I mean, you look at this, first of all, it's not even a law. It's a non-binding resolution. So they can do whatever they want. It doesn't mean it's actually going to happen. And it's all over the place. The one aspect that's wild, she thinks this is going to bring tuition-free public college. What does that have to do with this Green Deal?
Well,
it makes no sense.
One thing that people say is that the makings of a good politician is somebody who can say a whole lot without saying much at all. So I guess you could put a feather in her cap for doing that. I applaud Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for being energetic and enthusiastic. She's certainly a hard worker. But when you hear about her flying to Washington, D.C. instead of taking the train, taking Ubers instead of taking the subway, buying thousands of dollars of supplies on Amazon, and then going around and calling Amazon an evil corporation, she does become this walking stereotype, or a contradiction, rather, and somebody that you really can't take seriously. Yeah, but why should I change my ways when she isn't willing to do that right now?
You have now in New York people having second thoughts about trying to get Amazon back now because of what happened with her being very vocal about it. It seems like it's way too far. Where I wish that they would. It's hard to be realistic to see that this is all going to be implemented in what they have 12 years.
It was a goal set, right? Yeah. Kris, so whether you like it or not, it was a series of goals, and then, the right came out and said, well, how are you going to pay for this? Very good point, I might add, but that she was trying to say in prior interviews, she said, no one said that when we had a goal of going to the moon and all of this other stuff, so what's the difference?
Yeah, she was also talking about hamburgers and ice cream, and also commented that that's not what I said. But actually, she did say things that did lead people to that point. But I really wasn't sure what she was saying in that interview last night. I think there were many missed opportunities. First of all, she said, I didn't tell you can't have, enough ice cream. You have to check with your doctor on that. I mean, she didn't mention...
That was her, I guess, her universal health care.
Yeah, actually, what about obesity rates, and what about, she talked about factory farming and also the dairy industry. Yeah. She left that part out, but that was a missed opportunity.
Well, everyone's going to have a chance to vote on this next week, but when Ed Markey, the lead Senate co-sponsor, says that he's going to probably vote president instead of yes, you got a big problem in your hands. I think President Trump is right to say that this could end up helping.
And she won't go on, I think, hard-hitting places to get asked these tough questions to be able to explain it.
But I think we're going to do so. I know we put requested because if she said this was not about a budget itemized plan, and it wouldn't be the first one that on the right or left we've had that, this would have been a perfect opportunity to explain that.
I feel like she's obviously a star, all eyes on her these days. Everything she says, everyone's playing up to her so much, but when she's getting called out on it, she can't defend it. And we're seeing that time after time after time with her, especially, that you might have these great ideas, but in actuality,
she said that she was never out for making, cows farting or otherwise illegal.
I think when we call her a star, she's really a social media star, and
that's all you need these days. By the way, far more important stuff is going on. Sam Adams has a new beer, a Ruth Bader Ginsburg beer. That's a big draw.
Yeah, well, you know, the flavor is stale and old. It's,
Oh, that's
Oh, don't say that.
I mean, I think
That's me.
it's like that Bud Light. It's the Bud Light you find in your garage from 4 years ago. That's what it's going to taste
well,
like.
obviously they figured out, and then you know, it's in honor of International Women's Day. I think that's
it's
not a bad idea.
Yeah, go ahead.
it's a really a larger topic right now about when brands decide that they're going to go political, and I think we're seeing a divide right now. You have the larger-based companies with massive.
But that's not a bad political thing, right?
Well, I've already seen the tweets where they're saying let's boycott Sam Adams.
But you
so
know
they
what?
think it's bad.
I do
the
think
boycotts
that
are
she
gonna start.
is even more than she is, of course, a political figure, but she is also a cultural icon.
Right.
So I don't think that I really don't see Sam Adams alienating a massive group of people by doing this.
And also, some of the proceeds are going to good causes and stuff like that. So that's nice.
So
that
you'd
they're
be
doing
open.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, everything
You'd
now,
open a bottle.
and everything now is political.
Take it.
I mean,
In this day and age, all these brands are becoming hyper-politicized.
And they're trying to get that draw.
By the way, last time Facebook is dealing with more controversies, passwords that leaked
What a
out.
mess. What a
A new
mess.
day, a new
can't get out of its own
Facebook
way.
You can't. I mean, this is not news to anybody. This is always happening. They're always, you know, but there's never any.
Doing it.
But there's never any back. You know, there's never any pushback against like what happens when
They
they.
can't get out of its
Well,
own
that's
way.
why I thought it was so rich when Mark Zuckerberg came out and said that he was going to try and make this private, encrypted Facebook service, because why would we trust? Of all people, Mark
Time
Zuckerberg to
and
do this.
time again, Mark
does happen
Zuckerberg
a
keeps
lot.
running, which is why people aren't using Facebook as much. If you're a millennial,
You know,
you're
they haven't
barely
lost that
using
many
it.
users, though.
But I really think with millennials that they're not using it as much. I think you go to
What do
Twitter,
you use instead?
Well, they own
Twitter,
Instagram, so it's still-
Instagram, and then
That's where
they
the
use a
government
MySpace.
goes.
And Facebook owns Instagram.
It's weird. Oh, sorry. Go.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's another day, another Facebook scandal, and the trust is
Do you
broken.
use Facebook?
Of course, I run a social media agency. I still have to.
Sorry. I just-
I think I'd be fired if I did it for certain clients in a
Then they
demo.
get in trouble for selling information to people.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I'm
where's
saying.
where's the
That's what I
backlash?
was asking.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
We're not
We're
shocked
not. All
anymore.
right, guys, thank you very, very much. A quick read from the